Usually I'd start today's video by going, it's match day, we're playing Southampton. I'd go on to discuss about how I want to see Fulkrug start and what I'm looking forward to seeing from today's game. But all that would be fake this morning, because I'm not looking forward to the game. Actually, I feel nervous, and I've been trying to work out why. And I don't think it's for West Ham. I think I'm nervous for Graeme Potter, because ultimately we aren't playing for anything as a club. Even if we got beat today against Southampton, lost next week against Brighton, lost every single game this season, including the last game of the season away to Ipswich Town, I still don't think we get relegated. Ipswich could win 4 of their 6 games, including the one against us, and they still wouldn't be able to catch us. So I'm giving them wins against Arsenal tomorrow, against Brentford, against Leicester, and against us. So the 2 games I'm saying they will lose is Everton and Newcastle. And I think that's been very optimistic from an Ipswich perspective. And that still wouldn't be enough to catch us. So I'm not worried at all about relegation, no matter how today goes. But yeah, I've got this feeling of nerves, actually. And I've been thinking about it, why I feel this way. Is it because I'm just not excited for today's game? Well, I've not been excited for other games this season, especially under Lopetegui as well. I really wasn't looking forward to the game, but I never had nerves. So I've established I strongly don't believe we're at risk of getting relegated. We're not at risk of achieving anything, so it's got to be nerves for Graeme Potter. The more I think about it, the more I feel like, yes, that is where your feelings are coming from. Today's a big game for him, as far as I'm concerned. And it's one of those games where he's sort of in a no-win situation. Best case scenario, we go out there today, we play good football and we win comfortably. Let's just say we're 1 or 2-0 up at half-time. We'll go on and win the game 3-0. Fulkrug started, he scored. Bowen was in his best position, he scored. Paqueta's pulling the strings. Do you know what? Imagine the best case scenario today. After the game, what do you think the common opinion would be? It will be, well, it was only Southampton. Do that next week against Brighton and then we'll start getting hopeful. And that would be fair. That would also be correct, because we are away to play the worst team in the Premier League. We are away to play the team that's been relegated from the Premier League earliest in the history of the Premier League. They've got 10 points all season. So that opinion would be true and valid. And that's the best case for Potter today. Worst case is we lose. And you could see it happening. A, we've not been that impressive. And B, surely Southampton don't want to get relegated with the worst ever points tally. I made this point on my Stadium and Geo video. Plug, by the way, I wasn't going to, but if I continued plugging it, it would have been smooth. But I've got a YouTube channel where I discuss football. I've done a Premier League preview as well as a European race prediction. Links in the description below and pinned comments. Thank you to anyone that goes and subscribes. I appreciate it. But in that video, I was stating, while I've just made the point, no one really cares about the earliest team to be relegated from the Premier League. If I ask you 2 questions right now, question number 1, which team has been relegated from the Premier League with the lowest ever points tally? You know the answer is Derby County. You just know it. But if I said before this season, who was relegated from the Premier League the earliest? Do you really know? If you do, fair play. But I'd imagine a lot of people don't know, because no one really cares. Southampton need to get points on the board to avoid equalling or being worse than that Derby County team. So there's a bit of pride to play for. Lallana and Ruskin charged. Some players might get opportunities. I actually think they're a dangerous team to play today, Southampton. But worst case is we lose, and it's almost like I can only imagine the fallout that will be towards Graeme Potter. And then there's bits in the middle. We won 1-0, we scraped by, but it's not a good performance. Arguably, that's the worst thing, because people will switch off. At least if we lose, people will get angry. There's emotion there. But if we scrape by and win, it's sort of good for Potter to some extent. It's good for the club. We get points on the board. But I don't think it's going to sway anyone's opinion, is my point. Are you going to get confidence or even just hope going into next weekend? Never mind next season. Probably not. So I don't think Potter can really win today. And he talks a good game. I'll give him that. He knows what to say. But we've all got a mate like that. I bet you if Ipswich beat Arsenal tomorrow, we've all got a mate that goes, I thought they'd do that. I was going to put a tenner on it, but I didn't. Well, it doesn't really matter then, doesn't it? What's the point of making a prediction after the outcome? pointless. But we all know someone. I bet you've thought of someone that you know that's a bit, yeah, he's a bit like that, actually. You win an ACA, they'll go, oh, yeah, I was going to do that. I forgot. Well, of course you did. You've always got a mate that was going to do that. Potter's a bit like that. If he was going to if he got sacked, he'd go, oh, I was going to play attacking football. Just never really got the opportunity. Well, let's see it then. So he gives it all that. We need to see him start doing a little bit of that. And today is the perfect opportunity to do it. And for all that he doesn't have his players, the players aren't good enough. Well, he was at Chelsea, and while they are a bit of a shambles, one thing we can't say is that, well, you have to say, sorry, it's quite a talented group of players, right? So that group of players that he had were good. They were much better than the players he had at Brighton. They're better than the ones he's got at West Ham, but he couldn't get them playing. Oh, well, it's because of their attitude. Okay, well, I thought Potter was a good man manager, so can he not do that either then? My point is, even if we play well today, there's going to be sort of reasons given for that. And he's always, since he's come in, he's always spoke about this relationship with the home fans. I need to build that relationship. We need to build that trust. We need to build a team they identify. But he speaks about it as if, like, we'll start judging him in 6 months' time or a year's time. No, well, some people might. For me, it started the day you started at West Ham. That relationship is already formed. You can mould it and you can change it. I'm willing to change my mind. But I'm not waiting until Christmas time before, oh, okay, now I'll see what you've produced. I'm happy to some extent, hit the refresh button in August and go, right, I'm going to try and just judge you on this new season. Let's see what you got. But for now, I'm looking at him, I'm judging it. I will be judging him today, and I'm not apologising for that, because I want to see something that says, don't worry, you'll be all right next season. And like I said, I've enjoyed the second half against Liverpool and Bournemouth for the main of it. If we can combine that across 70 minutes today, I will be happy. I will enjoy it, and I think we will win. But I'm not confident that we get that. And this is what's making me worried. And I think the Liverpool game last week surprised me. Not that we lost against Liverpool, but the reaction of people. That game pushed a lot of people over the edge. When I was reading the comments, and it's only Hammers Chat subscribers, I always reiterate, this channel does not necessarily reflect the opinions of West Ham fans or season ticket holders or away fans or anything like that. I always reiterate, this channel simply reflects the opinions of Hammers Chat subscribers, and that is it. But reading those comments last week, and on this channel we get about 3,000 comments in the comment section every month, plus we've got all the live chats from the build-up show, the watch-along, the review, and then the debrief show. So probably about 10,000 comments, I think, on this channel every single month. It's a lot of opinions to read, and a lot of arguments sometimes as well, but there's certainly a lot of opinions. And after the Liverpool game, I was feeling okay. I enjoyed the second half. We got beat. I could shrug it off pretty easily. I was ready to move on to this game. But reading the people's comments in the review, I was surprised at how many people had said something along the lines of, I was giving Potter support when he came in. I was happy he was here. I'm really starting to question him now. I'm not too sure about it. And I was surprised that that game in particular was the one that made people sort of move their opinion. But then I thought about it. Well, that's not the game that done it, though. It's an accumulation. It's the game before that and the game before that. And Liverpool was just, well, the 13th game in a row, really. That's made them go, actually, I'm not sure about this guy. I'm not sure about him. And I think it's different for me because my opinion on Potter from day one hasn't really changed. Even before we played a game under Graeme Potter, I was surprised at how well he played in the first 2 or 3 games. I enjoyed it more than I thought. But the games in between the first 2 and the last 2 is what I expected from Potter ball at West Ham. His win percentage is roughly the same as it is in his career in the Premier League. His win percentage as a Premier League manager is under 30%. That's Brighton and Chelsea, under 30%. He's come here, and currently it's 23% or something. So he's actually in line with his career averages so far. That's why I struggle to have confidence that it's going to suddenly change post-summer. Well, you know, for every argument that gets given as to why it will get better, I can give you one back. I'm quite confident I can give you one back. Well, wait till he gets his players. Well, okay, then we'll... What about Brighton? Because he had all those players and his win percentage was still less than 30%. Football might have been pretty enough, but it's not enough for me to some extent. Anyway, my opinion on Potter hasn't changed, but I feel like a lot of people's has. And I think today could be the day that a lot of people change their opinion. I feel there's a lot of people teetering on the brink because nobody's winning right now and nobody's enjoying this. One conversation I've tried to avoid a lot, bar the Everton game, is sort of the Moyes topic. And I'm going to go back to it just for the next couple of minutes. And it's not to call out divides or anything, but actually this is where the divides almost marry up. So you've got a group of fans who didn't want Moyes to go and expected the club to make a mess of his replacement. They'll be feeling like they've been proven correct, and I would argue they have been proven correct. You've got a group of fans who wanted Moyes to go, but didn't trust the club to get it right. And that's where I sit. And I would argue they've also been proven correct. You'll have a group of fans who wanted Moyes to go, but were hopeful the club would get it right, and they'll be feeling angry. They'll be feeling frustrated, thinking, well, you've messed this one up. But I'll tell you what, you don't have a group of fans thinking. There's two. You don't have a group of fans that wanted Moyes to go and thought, okay, let's see what the club do, and they're happy. I don't think they really exist at the moment. Then you've got the other group which didn't want Moyes to go, but they were willing to see what occurs, and now they're happy. That group doesn't exist. I think regardless of whether you wanted Moyes to stay or go, I don't think anyone's happy right now. I don't think anyone's sitting here going, West Ham are in a great position. There might be some people. There will be people optimistic, and I'm not going to tell you not to be optimistic. Think what you want, believe what you want. That's important. But there's not loads. There's not too many of them. And I think this game, if we don't win today, I think there will be even less of those. And Potter at the minute has spoken about how we don't need a big rebuild. Well, I'll go into more detail. I'll do a video about this next week, I think. But he speaks about trust. That's the word Potter used in his pre-match press conference this week. Trust. He wants fans to trust them. Well, when you say that we don't need a big rebuild, that's not going to help it. Now, it might be semantics. He might just be wording it and trying to keep morale high within the current squad. But I'm not having that, because in other press conferences, he's been happy to say something along the lines of, well, these players aren't playing well enough and they want to be here next season. They better buck their ideas up. And I liked that message. I liked it. I agreed with him. He was almost calling out an entire squad. I'm pretty sure he doesn't mean it about the entire squad, but he just didn't name individuals. I think that was a good thing to do. I think it was the right thing to do. But now he's suggesting we don't need a big rebuild. Well, actually, I want the opposite. I want to hear we do need a big rebuild. I want him to be putting pressure on the board to spend money. Because when you go public, like Tim Steiding did when we appointed Lopetegui, he went on TNT Sports and said, oh yeah, that's the man. Big mistake. Either you're lying and you're saying something you don't really believe, or you do believe it and you're at fault for the appointment of Lopetegui. It's one of the two. And when Potter said that, I thought, nah, man, because you're basically publicly saying we don't need to spend loads of money this summer. I'm not happy about that. I was hoping to hear something different. It's got me worried, actually. And I think that's why I'm nervous for him for today, because I don't think he can win. I think he can the opinions will either remain the same as they are right now, or they'll get worse, generally. Of course, it comes down to individuals. My opinion probably won't change, but if we lost today, I'm not going to be very happy about it. But like I said in the preview, and I stand by this, winning's not enough for me today. I want to see a good performance. I want to enjoy watching us play football today, because you ain't going to do it against a team bottom of the league. You ain't going to do it next season at all. We've got nothing at risk, as far as I'm concerned, pardon me. We've got nothing at risk whatsoever. So if you're not going to go out and play football on the front foot, try and score at least 2 goals. You're not going to do it against a side already relegated when there's zero risk for your club. You ain't doing it at all next season. I need something to say to me, Geo, don't worry. All that talk I've been doing, I promise you, I'm going to put it into action. Today's the day. And if you do it today, and next week against Brighton, you go a bit more defensive and you get a draw, I think that becomes more acceptable. If you get beat by Nottingham Forest, I think most people go, well, they're playing for Champions League football, it's different. I think people will allow it. But this game, and I will say it, the game away to Man United, they're almost must-wins for me. And it's not just because I dislike Man U, it's because of the situation they're in. They're beside us in the table. We, going into the summer, our aim this summer should be to finish above Spurs and Man U next season. It should be, because we're not too far off one another right now. Today's a big game for him. I'm nervous for him. I just hope we get the win. I hope we see Füllkrug start, and if he does, I will get my hopes up for the game, and I will get excited. If I can see a 4-2-3-1 on paper before the game, Füllkrug up front, Bowen in his best position, Paqueta's in there, Soller's in midfield. I don't even care who's centre-back. Pick 2 of the 3. I'm not that arse, to be honest with you. Left-back, I'd prefer Scars. I'm not that bothered. If he went with Emerson, fine. But for the love of God, A, can we have a good game of football? And B, just make sure we win, please, because things aren't great at the moment at West Ham. Today's game, it's not going to help. It can only make things worse. And that's not a great position to be in. Anyway, I'm off. I'm waiting to record the breakfast show with Gonzo in a second for patrons. If you're going to the game, enjoy it. I hope you do enjoy it. And if you're not going to the game, we'll be live at 1:55 on this channel with the build-up show discussing the starting 11 and how myself and Gonzo are feeling ahead of today's game. Hopefully he's feeling a bit more enthusiastic and excited than I am. But I just wanted to have a candid chat because I just like being honest. And one thing I can't do is be fake and pretend. And if I was to sit here and go, yeah, get in, buzzing for today's game, it would all be a lie. I don't want to do that. And I'd also be lying if I said next season, yeah, I'm quite confident Potter will turn things around, will be really good. And I hope he can change that between now and the end of the season. And that starts today.